Alrighty, here we go. We've got confirmation of Season 28 here. We've gone through a lot of the details before we played the PTR. So right now, the thing that we've been waiting for the most is confirmation on a start date. I was 99% sure it'll be February 24. It's now officially confirmed. February 24, 5 p.m. next week, as I'm sitting here live and recording this simultaneously. At this time next week, we'll be 15 minutes into the next season. So we've got 1 week until the season begins. It's Saturday here as of this recording. So next Saturday, at this time, we're going to be making our new characters and starting season 28. Now, a lot of things we know about. We know about the theme. It's going to be the altar. These are the rewards that we're getting. Portrait frame. One thing that I've never been too fussed about. I'm not a portrait frame kind of guy, even though I do enjoy my rainbow portrait that I've got from Whimsydale. If you haven't got yours, make sure you do before D4 comes out. The pet looks ultra cool. This winged dragon. That looks really cool. And don't forget that you get the wings for completing the altar, which should be displayed somewhere here as well. Yeah, there they are. So we get these awesome wings, which I did get in the PTR while testing it out. They look phenomenal. The graphics on them look amazing. Not so much on this display, but in-game they look incredible. It looks much better in-game. So those wings are insane. You just have to complete the altar to get those wings. All right, let's quickly go back up. So we know all about the rewards. We know about the conquests. They're going to be pretty easy. So level 55 solo, super easy. 350 or more kills on a cursed chest. Boss mode, kill all the bosses in the game except for Vividian in 20 minutes or less, or under 20 minutes. Level up 3 legendary gems to 65. Super easy, done automatically as you just keep playing the game. Complete a Nephilim on max level. Torment 10 within 2 minutes. You just saw me obliterate one on Torment 16 in under a minute. So that's going to be super easy. And again, something you'll naturally achieve as you play through the game. Starting sets. So I'm playing a Demon Hunter to start with. Gears of Dreadlands is going to be a great start. It has been buffed, but that'll be mentioned down below. Most importantly though, we want to see what the changes are. Some changes to the altar. It's been buffed. So instead of 10% damage, we get 20%. Instead of 15, it's doubled to 30. So this will go up maybe 4 or 5 GR tiers if you want to sort of compare it to how it's going to affect your Greater Rift ability. The big one here that we've all been sort of wondering about is what they're going to do with the potions. Because the Condi absolutely broke the game, which Blizzard does mention here. Conduit Pollen completely broke the game. It did. You shouldn't be doing 150s in a minute and a half or less than a minute like some people that were doing it on PTR. So now, zonk, that's crossed out. When you drink your health potion, you gain a random shrine or the dimensional power pylon. And that's going to only last for 16 seconds. I don't know why it doesn't mention it here. I did read somewhere off stream that it lasts for 16 seconds. So you want to probably pop these potions when you come across elites for a chance at that dimensional power pylon. It's still going to be pretty good, but not as broken as the Condi. And all pylon effects are gone. Out the window. You can't get Condi, you can't get anything except for dimensional power. It lasts for 16 seconds. Your dimensional power, should you get it, when you pop your potion. And it cannot be doubled with the Flavor of Time amulet either. So you can't double that time and make it 32 seconds or anything like that. It would be nice if it did work, but you can't. So you get 16 seconds. It's a good change. It's a good change. It's not like a huge nerf or anything like that, but the Condi, the Condi, as fun as it was, it did break the game. So the other potions are untouched. They were fine anyway. So seals, we know about the seals. So that's the altar. It'll be in Act 1 in the corner. It'll be marked on your map. If you can't find it, just pop into stream on the day and I'll show you exactly where it is. So here's a list of the requirements for the altar as well. You want to have this handy when you're playing through So just to make sure that you know what you need and you don't accidentally salvage, let's say, the ancient puzzle ring, which is required at some stage. It's somewhere here. Here we go. 20. Ancient puzzle ring. Some bounty materials. So you want to definitely have this handy so you don't accidentally get rid of anything. Staff of Herding is going to slow things down a little bit. But it's pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. There aren't too many things that you can accidentally salvage. Mostly what you got to look out for, ancient puzzle ring. So if you get a puzzle ring, keep it aside, even if it's not ancient, because you can reforge it and get your ancient if you're not lucky enough to come across a naturally rolled ancient one. And also keep all your set items. Which reminds me, so instead of getting this one never-ending question bullshit when you're doing a challenge rift, a set dungeon, I always get those two mixed up. Instead of having to do 100 set dungeons to get this one never-ending questions thing, all you have to do is farm and set aside 4 different full sets, or 5 pieces minimum if you've got the Ring of Royal Grandeur. So once you've got your 6 pieces equipped, or you have your 6-piece bonus, you go down to Leorix. There's an altar there with a tome sitting on there, which will give you details on where to go for the set dungeon to complete it. You touch that, you pick up the page, and you're done for one set. You have to equip 4 different sets, get 4 different unique pages for different set items in the game for your class, and then that'll be your 19th seal requirement. Super easy. You just need the set items. So don't salvage any set items. Put them in the stash, set them aside, and make sure that you keep your eyes open for the ancient puzzle ring as well. Going down, there's those wings again. Primordial ashes. So now if you salvage a primal, you get 55 primordial ashes. Primordial ashes are going to be used for the new recipe in Canai's Cube, which will allow you to create or convert a legendary item into a primal ancient. Now, it sounds great. It is great, but you can only do one. You can only have one equipped. You can craft as many as you want and salvage them or whatever if you wanted to, but you can only have one equipped at any given time that's actually converted using Canai's. So only one from Canai's, and then all the other natural primals that you might pick up along your seasonal journey you can equip as well. But only one unique one that you can convert with Canai's. So that's a cool recipe. At least you're guaranteed one primal ancient, right? And you can hand select which one you want to craft as primal as well. So you got to choose carefully. Doesn't look like any changes to the monk here. This is the all-important part. We've all been wondering what they're going to do to the Demon Hunter. Here it is here. Demon Hunter. Changes. Natalia's 2-piece. Hitting an enemy summons a spike trap. If it's on your action bar, each spike trap detonation restores 1 discipline. It's struggling to read it because they freaking put that line through it. So this kind of means that strafe won't be a thing anymore, because on PTR we could just keep strafing, and as we're hitting enemies, we're automatically casting spike traps. So that's gone. No more spin to win. A little bit disappointed with that because it worked very well together. But also at the same time, there's so many spin to win builds. At least it's going to sort of provide a unique twist to the build now. It's not going to be spin to win anymore. So it's not a bad thing, but it can be inconvenient because it was so easy to play as you're strafing through, automatically casting spike traps everywhere. And smashing through enemies. It was fun, it worked well. So no more spin to win. But Spike Trap deals 100% increased damage, so it gets a damage buff to enemies that are affected by Cal drops. So instead of strafing, I guess we're going to be using Cal drops. Spike Trap now instantly refreshes charges on use, no longer costs resources. And each detonation restores 2 disciplines. So discipline's not going to be an issue. We're going to be regenerating that like crazy. The only issue was hatred on PTR, but looks like now it no longer will be because we're not strafing. So we're not using any hatred that way. And we're also not using any hatred by casting spike traps because they're free. They're free. We can spam the hell out of them. So hatred shouldn't be an issue either. For 4 pieces, laying a spike trap grants 60% damage reduction. The duration of this bonus is always equal to the number of already laid traps in seconds. That's crossed out. Spike trap explosions will blast affected enemies towards the nearest set cal drops. So we're going to be grouping up enemies like crazy. So cal drops, and then use your spike traps. It'll blast the enemies into the cal drops. It'll multiply the damage with the 2-piece bonus, and we can group up enemies conveniently. Laying a spike trap grants 75% damage reduction. The duration of this bonus is always equal to the number of already laid traps in seconds. So it's got a buff there as well. Instead of 60% damage reduction, we get 75. And it also will blast enemies into the cal drops. That's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Just got to figure out the best way to move real fast using this. 6 pieces crossed out as well. So spike traps deal 10,000% increased damage. Each consecutive blast from the detonation chain reaction will deal 10% more damage than the previous blast. So that's crossed out. Spike traps deal 10,000% increased damage, and each consecutive explosion from the detonated chain reaction will deal 25% more damage than the previous blast. Another buff for Natalia's. The only thing we need to figure out now is how to move fast without strafe. That's all. It'll be okay. It'll be fine because we've got so much discipline. We'll be able to spam the hell out of Smokescreen with the speed increasing rune. You got Shadow Power to increase speed as well. The Altar increases your maximum move speed as well. So instead of a maximum 25% base movement speed, we're going to get 50% total. So it's going to be fast moving anyway. We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out to move fast. I'm going to definitely have fun experimenting with Natalia's. But first of all, the starting set for Demon Hunter is Gears of Dreadlands. This has been buffed from 15% increased damage to 27,500%. So big buff for Gears of Dreadlands. Strong start to the Demon Hunter, and this will be the best speed farming build for your Nephilim and bounties and shit like that. It's going to be fast moving because Gears of Dreadlands is super fast if you keep your momentum stacks at a maximum. And now it's doing a shitload more damage, so it's going to be a strong start. No changes to Shadow's Mantle. Spirit Barrage. Massive change here. Massive damage increase. Massive buff. It's more than double. So summon a Spectre over you, unleashing Spirit Bolts at a nearby enemy for 16,000. For 6,000% increase. Crossed out, it's going to be 14,000. More than double. For Spirit Barrage. That's got a massive buff for Witch Doctors as well. And that's pretty much it. So this is looking good. This is looking good, I think. So Natalia's has a buff. It's going to be fun, and it's not going to be spin to win. So it's going to be something a bit different than what we've played on PTR. That's it. Nothing for the Wizard. So Wizard hasn't been nerfed. It's still going to be your strongest GR pusher by far. That thing was insane. Playing on PTR. So my plan will be starting a Demon Hunter, getting that God 6-piece set and having a godly start to the season with the increased damage now. It's going to be super fast as always, and then we're going to work on Natalia's. And don't forget, keep all your set items aside because you just need those tomes. Super easy way to get them too. We're going to be blasting pretty much through all of these requirements and maybe take a bit of a speed bump at Staff of Herding. That'll take a little bit of time. The rest is going to be pretty straightforward, as you can see there. Crafting an ancient Hellfire amulet. It's all pretty straightforward. And yeah, most importantly, February 24, 5 p.m. US. That'll be for you Australians out there around 11 a.m. Saturday morning. I'll have a sleep in, come here about an hour, 30 minutes early, hang out, see who wants to join me in a group. We'll level up together. I'll be looking for 3 people as usual that want to group level, and then we'll just start working through our chapters, our seasonal journey, and also start working through our altars. So yeah, whoever wants to join me, please let me know. This can potentially be the best season ever. Best season ever, potentially. just before Diablo 4 comes out, June the 6th. See you all in Season 28.